We are here to do an update. Okay, those of you who don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings 5D. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame and twin flame coach. I wanted to come towards you guys and give an energy update, definitely over the last probably 3 days, especially from the Scorpion moon. There's been some things going on. Now, the energy has increased. Yes, we do have super chat here. You know, if I am going to answer any questions, it will be at the end of the session. Feel free if you wish to give an energy donation. And at times, pre-warned, yes, I do use profanities, but I will try and aim to not, although we may be in that energy. I look pretty good today. Huh? Thanks. It was a rushed jobby. Okay, now I'll wait for some people to enter the house, and then I'll be giving you guys an energy update as to some of the signs and synchronicities I've been seeing, covering some of the aspects of the astrology. I have tried over the last 3 days to actually get the videos done per zodiac sign. Thanks, sweet. And I wasn't able to. And each time I know spiritually, and Giggle agrees with me, whenever I'm trying to achieve a different target, I'll go through spiritually a chain of very unfortunate events. And directly after, what I find is there's a reason and there's a blockage. And I do believe there was another reader, and I've got to remember her name, and I did comment on her post. I'll try and put it under the information section. Definitely there's been some shifts in the energy. And what happens is you're trying to do another task and it's pulling you back to something else. And the download I was getting is before I can even complete the zodiac signs, I choose to do earth, air, fire, water, or I simply plod through like a lot of us have been and do each zodiac sign. The blockage that was coming through was the fact that my guides were telling me to come and give you an update. Now, a few things over the last few days, and I'll cover different areas. One is your energy, okay? So with the energy at the moment, the Schumann resonance has been increasing. Now, you find, if you research it, again, feel free for those of you who know how to spell it. Thanks, Elizabeth. What you'll find is when it peaks, especially with the Neptunian energy, what will happen is some of you will feel very fatigued. Some of you will feel very distorted. We've got the Scorpion energy coming through all the way through November. Plus, we've had the Scorpion moon. Now, with that energy going on, it's especially with the signs I've been seeing, it is important to keep grounded. You will feel lightheaded. You may feel dizzy. You could feel nauseous. You may go off your food. Agitation galore. Synchronistically speaking, it's occurring around the Scorpion moon. Now, the energy of Scorpion is very psychic. It's also a time where we're investigating scenarios. We're key pointing areas where where we're making healthy boundaries, and it's the interconnection and the relationships with everything and everyone around us. Thanks, Stella. So, you know, with that, some of you who have been doing a lot of work on yourself spiritually, you'll be noticing it, but you'll be trying to get yourself grounded. Pay attention to the things that are coming up for you, but do be mindful that it's a bit like an ascension, okay? So when you're going through that frequency, what you'll find is you'll go through a purgatory state, and that's when you're getting triggered by certain people. Energies will be coming towards you, and we go through 2 patterns. We go through a stage where we are removed from any white noise, people, places, and things, where we have a spiritual upgrade. And during that time, you'll find people won't be around you, and you'll be going through a healing state and upgrading your energy. And once you've actually completed that task, you know, it's almost like you're being put into a chamber whereby you might become allergic to certain vibrations, because you're highly susceptible to those frequencies. Once you've integrated that into your scenario, you're then put out into the open like a test scenario, and you will have various frequencies being directly attracted to you. So that can be people that are very triggered, people that are angry, scenarios that bring up old energies for you, and you're attempting then to stay anchored in at the same time as being able to then adjust with what you've learnt, applying it to the 3D of your life. Now, with astrology, we've had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, and that has been all year, and we're still going to have that next year in 2020. And as I've mentioned, January will be very heavy. Now, as the Leo King said, you know, and I put my video out, I think before, it was what I'm seeing energetically is really the Scorpionic season from January moving all the way through November with the energy coming through with certain planets, especially in the house of Venus. What you're going to find is you're creating healthy boundaries. You're also being triggered by people trying to take you back of an old way of being, and you've outgrown that. So you will know where it's a you problem and it's a them problem. And definitely when those things come up, it is very important to balance your lower chakras. So those of you that don't know, you can align your chakras with meditation. With each color of the chakra, which is videos I do need to do, because I am noticing with those of you on spiritual paths, you know, there's different waves coming through at the moment. So those of you that are twin flames, I am noticing probably like third wave is coming through, you know, younger generation of people going through relationship transitions. And it's taken me way back. It's taken me back to the heydays of starting on YouTube, especially with the perspective and perception. So some channels you won't directly relate to, but if you're tapping onto them and you're listening to them, what you'll find is it's giving you the confirmation that you have evolved quite a great deal. And the energy might be quite to the point where you want to reject it because you have outgrown that way of being. Now, some of the signs when I was meditating on spiritual paths, and definitely with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn and the eclipse seasons coming up, we have the eclipses coming up at the end of the year, and then they're amping up again in January. Now, with the North and the South node, one is directly connected to past tense karma, one is directly connected to future tense karma and changing that dynamic. And that's the nodes in Cancer. That is the changeable scenario. But interestingly so, come January, the way it's aspecting with the eclipse and the astrology, it's more to do with endings, which is really interesting. So potentially, you know, if old family related dynamics have come back up and, you know, you're trying to shift your karmic frequency so you get a better outcome, or you can balance that karma because scenarios have come towards you, it's ending that cycle completely and it will never be the same again. So how you relate to your tribe, who you deem as your tribe, and when I say tribe, it can be your friends, the people you mix with, your work colleagues. There's still interconnections of relationships, and the Scorpion moon already is bringing those energies up. So the agitation, the anger you're feeling is heightening and peaking. Some of you are going to be moving through that energy almost like a test and saying, hey, we need to really address these things. I mean, yesterday I had a really interesting day. I had appointments with my daughter. I knew that I had a lot of work to do at home, and it has been back to back ongoing. And it was interesting moving through that energy, really pushing myself to a place where I was accepting of the 3D nature of what was occurring in front of me, that some of the power, so to speak, because we don't have power, we have the energy of manifestation and attraction in our life, is that everything does happen for a reason, but trying to stay anchored and grounded during that process. So it did take me the entirety of the day, and it was back-to-back things going on where it was like you had to move yourself through the energy. Now, a lot of people around me over the last few days have been incredibly triggered. The Scorpion moon and Mercury retrograde will bring two things. Travel, you need to pay caution to. Our perspective and perception, our mind and our communication we need to be careful with, because our mind can be distorted. However, with the Scorpion energy, we're also going to be quite enlightened, and we're going to have aha moments with the way people are reacting to situations, with the way they are. It's almost like a test, but you're going to see things quite clearly. You're guided to, if you're traveling, to get insurance. And that is more from a safety perspective when you look into the astrology. Read over the fine print. Even though we're in the shadow moving forward, it's a 3-week period where it is the Mercury retrograde, but at the same time, as I mentioned before, I do truly believe that regardless of what we traditionally do in a Mercury retrograde, we need to move through it because the Scorpionic energy is amping up for 2020. So with 2020 arriving, some of those energies between eclipse seasons on both sides, it is a subject matter that arises, and it can be an ending or a new beginning, and then it plays out over 6 months. And, you know, by the time we get to 2020, the nodes are shifting mid-year. So those energies are going to be Gemini and Sagittarius, which is all about growth. And that growth can happen, but it's landing at a time when we're going to have Mars retrograde, and you will feel very fatigued. So everything you physically do right now, it bodes well for 2020. So if there's paperwork you need to directly deal with, finalize those tasks. Mercury retrograde, is really important to probably not start new things. However, on this occasion, I would say if it's been in your mind and you haven't got the ball rolling, you will need to proceed forward through that, regardless of potential conflict you could have. And it is, again, due to the astrology in 2020. It's like the start button has started. It's like you're in a rat race to prepare yourself with your foundation for that time. It will be more difficult in January. And if you're the type of person that has been going through a lot of spiritual triggers and you feel you're reaching the end of your tether, it can be a very risky time for you. And it is documented in astrology. When we do look at astrology, we can look back over history to key point times, you know, of what happened when those aspects with planets making those aspects, you know, what was going on, so to speak. Now, it can be anything to do with war, because we did have World War I, World War II around that time. And it's not to say that that's going to happen, but really, spiritually, the way we're all evolving with the 19 Cancer and Capricorn, it's about our work, what does work, what doesn't. Infrastructures, companies, banks, legalities, contracts, your family with the nodes being Cancer and Capricorn, your emotions, your tribe, the people you're dealing with, children. It can be karmic energies. But again, the karmic frequency at this point in time is more directly connected to reaping what we sow, the energy we put in to work, and to the trust we put into different tribes, and assessing those factors. And if we can resolve and balance that, almost theoretically the judgment date of when the eclipses will come, which is what happens in the cycles of the eclipses. You'll have an eclipse in Cancer and then an eclipse in Cancer again. It's transitioning over that frequency and evolving that situation. So with the last eclipses we had, if you felt something needed to go and it didn't, and it was imbalanced, it's more than likely going to come up yet again to be cycled out and removed. If it has been balanced and the lessons have been learnt and it's been released, we're shifting into a frequency where we're proceeding forward. Now, a lot of you are going to be rejecting certain ways of being. So, you know, some of the signs I had over the last probably 48 hours, I was tuning into Twin Flame Collective and really karmic frequencies in general of the reality of attempting to move forward. And I know for female energies that have gone through awakenings and spiritual processes, you've had to leave jobs, you've moved through being able to relate to certain things. You might have left people, places and things, relationships, been in hermit mode through 3D situations. Really having that evolved state, which also probably over the last 3 years, really cleaning up karma, belief systems, codependent patterns. Now, masculine frequencies have been proceeding forward, but I do feel the collective over the last 2 months connected to relationships have felt like something has been quite stuck. So I started meditating on the situation, and then obviously with the Scorpion moon, we're more directly connected to our 12th house, which is our crown chakra. I started to get downloads because I was tuning into it, and there was literally a rubbish truck in front of me, and it was right as I was asking that question. It was like, okay, when can the baggage and the rubbish, which is the karmic related dynamics from previous times moving into this here and now, so that energy either at a physical level a spiritual level or a direct 3D level can proceed forward. And directly in front of me was a very large rubbish truck full of rubbish with the number 5 on it. And I said to my daughter, can you please take a photo of that? Hi, Andrew. Now, spiritually speaking, when we see 5, it directly links into transformations and change. And as I've always mentioned, with any change that we ask from the universe, our ego directly tells us it may not, like, okay, so suddenly something changes and you're thinking, well, that's not exactly what I'm manifesting. So why is that happening right now? And you anxiously hold on, preventing that transformation from happening. 9 times out of 10 for that transformation to happen, unless you've taken direct action and you've moved what you physically can move, as long as you're standing in your truth and you know that you're doing all you physically can on your side of the fence, and that can be in general terms, not just tips, then you're in alignment and you need to trust the process. Even when you're being forced, where you're trying to do things, trying to manifest jobs, putting the letters out there, etc., and things aren't moving, everything is happening for a reason. It's not so much you're doing something wrong. Rejection is the universe's protection. So there's a lesson inside of that hermit mode that you shall have. And there's a reason why detachment is completely necessary for manifestations to occur. So with the rubbish truck and the number 5, it's about the reality that, yes, even the things that we physically in a 3D experience are looking at and saying, I've thought every which way how this scenario can play out, and I have not yet found a solution. It's then that we are meditating on it through 7 stages of healing, so to speak. So we're physically in our third eye and we're thinking on a problem at hand. While we're in that vibration, we directly are blocking the solution, because sometimes it's physically not that you need to do anything. It's that you need to not be in the old paradigms of masculine frequency, okay? And when I say masculine frequency, it's not insulting. It's more actually going out and doing something, being proactive in a situation. Sometimes we need to trust in Mother Nature's process. So it's about getting back into your feminine frequency, and that's for both males and females. Sometimes there's something you're not meant to do. Sometimes it's more to do with the fact that you need to release. And while you're tuning into it, it's the pause button. Once you release it and you come back into self and you've anchored your energy back in, you've detached, it resolves and evolves because you've let it go. The actions that are coming with this vision that I saw is to do with the fact that our ego is saying, wow, that's a big truck and it's full of rubbish. How are we going to move that? 5 denotes change. Sometimes it's unpleasant change, but it's necessary change. By detaching and trusting the process, it's going to solve itself. You won't need to do anything. The universe is going to force scenarios. The universe is going to co-create these scenarios to create solutions. And 9 times out of 10, it evolves much better than you actually thought. The other thing I was seeing was I went past a road sign, and this was a chain of events that just, because I made note that I was going to do this update this morning, is that I saw, and I can't pronounce it right now, Muladhara, which is directly connected to base chakra. Now, I kept seeing red everywhere. And again, it is very much linked in with the Scorpion moon, because when you look at your base chakra, it's Saturn, Pluto, Taurus, and Scorpio, which is the energy of what's going on right now. So the subject matters that are going to come up are very much about our foundation. Okay, what is in alignment, what isn't? It can be your home-related dynamic, and a lot of it, obviously, with the subject matters we've been dealing with residue energy of the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, the foundation is us. The foundation is direct situations, people, places, things, home-related dynamics. Those things with all the red I've been seeing, you're guided to eat red, okay? Red food groups. Now, yes, for those of you that do eat meat, it is directly connected to that. It could be some of you may, if you're feeling very sluggish, definitely, not that I'm a doctor and I can't guide you that way, but if you're having an inkling that maybe you have an imbalance, go and do what you need to do to get that checked. But it can be imbalances in that area, especially the base chakra being activated. Now, a lot of power in your core sense, because when we're having retrogrades, trigger points purging, and we're rejecting a frequency, it's directly because we've outgrown it. And so it's confirmation to you, which then you're guided not to do anything. You're guided to, okay, if you've learned that lesson, you have had your epiphany, you can detach from it. Once you detach, the solution will come. So it's about pushing the energy back into you, understanding some of the situations that you unfortunately have to go through. Grin and bear it. Try not to lose your teeth, but know that it's amping up to a seismic end where that situation is evolving and changing. With the base chakra, it is important where I am seeing, I have spoken to Giggle about Jinn. Now, the Jinn energy is linked to frequencies where there's dark energies. Now, yes, we're moving into the twilight zone of Halloween. And yes, during this time in October, the veil is very thin, especially since we have the scorpionic energy and it does open our perspective, perception, and psychic abilities. Our downloads will be more. And especially because the shaman resonance has reached 80. It's spiking our consciousness, which can be mental BS, where it's just you're getting so many downloads, or you're having light bulb moments, or you're feeling all of these vibrations all of a sudden. It can cause anger, nausea, dizziness, loss of appetite, fatigue. In a more grounded sense, you can detach and swim that flow and balance your chakras. Because it's even on your chest with Mercury retrograde, which is the higher heart, it's this panicked energy because you've healed something, but it's really coming to your subconscious mind. Now, with your foundation, as I said, I would highly recommend that you start meditating to clear your chakras. Definitely use your amethyst for your crown chakra, for all the downloads you're getting. Drink fluid. When it comes to your spiritual protection, because they can be dark energies with all the negativity going on and our anger and aggression coming up, we're really guided to use psychic protection stones. Now, that can be tourmaline, black onyx. Again, Google what you feel your energy and is directly attracted to, because it's a bit like they choose us, so to speak. So if you're seeing colours in particular and you're attracted to them, it can be a notion that you need that. And if you do have a crystal that breaks, it's protected you above and beyond. It doesn't mean you don't need that. It's confirming, that yes, that energy was around, and you can replace that. And then if it happens again, potentially you have reached an ascended master state and that point has been sorted. But there are other tools we're using now, and especially with dark energies, we can use Jinn removal, which you can Google that energy, that video on YouTube. But there's other energies of darker energies. What happens is if you have worked on yourself and you're feeling very grounded and you physically walk into a room, you will energetically, as an empath, know if somebody is in that frequency and they're lower frequency. And it's not that they're bad because they're lower frequency. We're human. We all will fall into that category at any shape and point in the day. But to be in that vibration, when you have upgraded your vibration, you are upgrading them. So you will elevate them out of their negative energy. But it is like a vampire effect, so it can zap your energy. And you know, when our ego tells us that's not real, what we need to understand is if we're walking on a carpet and we're dragging our feet and we touch someone, we transfer that energy. It is exactly the same. So be mindful of the trigger points in different areas of our life right now. And although it, you know, like the Leo King said, you're just going to sit on the sideline, you're going to, you know, tap it out. If people are coming towards you, it's part of your spiritual path. That can even be with new energies coming into your life. If you aren't in union and you are a twin flame and other energies come towards you, it's because your energy has upgraded to a point where that next stage of awakening, a different vibration has come towards you to be able to take that out of you or upgrade that energy in you. It doesn't mean to say you have to enter into a full-on relationship with the person. It could be friendships. It could be work colleagues. It can be a direct connection spiritually. With Mercury retrograde, it can bring up the old. So people from the past can come out of nowhere, but their energies inside of other people can too. And so can memories, and so can subject matters out of your energy core sense without that person next to you. The other thing I was seeing was whenever we see government officials, and that can be, you know, from a spiritual point of view, when you research these things, it's a bit like a library, you get it stored in your head. They do say that when we see police, fire engines, government bodies, it directly connects them with Archangel Michael. So this morning I saw 3 police spikes. And again, it was on the subject matter of spiritual connections, people directly connecting in. And it doesn't have to just be twin flame journey. It's in general, your tribe. And it is what they call the Trinity, the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. But you, masculine, the feminine, and Gaia, however you directly link the dots. It's also about protection. Now, I do feel there's scenarios where if you white light yourself and use crystals, I do feel it's necessary to protect yourself. I am feeling that something in a sense of a start button has occurred where a series of very unfortunate events are going to occur to end some cycles. So the anxious energy some of you guys might have been having is because something has amped up in an energy field. It does feel quite, you know, shocking. Some of these things might be quite uncomfortable. And again, with all these upgrades, especially if you're getting tight and you're removed from scenarios, you know, it's universe's way of protecting you. Any questions while I'm at it? It's very thick. It's like, please trust your intuition. Do what you can do. Complete the tasks of what you can complete. I do know, who is the other channel giggle that? And I was mentioning her the other day, and then suddenly you inboxed me and she was leaving YouTube. What's her name again? I love her channel. I do believe she's Kiwi. Big shout out to her. I'm Kiwi too. I'm a Kiwi bits and pieces of everything. Mana. I love her. Now, I've been going through the same thing, and it's like, especially, and I think all of us collectively have been, it's, you know, getting to a point where you're going, okay, where is this balance coming from? Nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. Trying to move forward, then having your Kundalini awakening, you know, your ascension symptoms, your transformation. 2019 has been very interesting, very challenging. Trying to move forward, but then getting pulled back. And knowing that full well, everything does happen for a reason. Meanwhile, having the best of intentions to actually do certain things, but having to listen to your guides in different ways. Now, obviously, with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction coming in January, you do need to be really grounded. Like I said, if you're not feeling grand, and I noticed this over the last few years, but I do think it was probably in 2018, we had Mercury retrograde. We had a lot of planets, really a lot of people going through an awakening, the dark night of the soul. So a lot of depression. And I did mention that this year, the younger generation would actually be going through their aspect of awakenings. And I have actually noticed that collectively. And again, that's going to continue to amp up for other people and the collective, where all of a sudden they'll be looking at astrology. Then they might be Googling numbers. Then they may be Googling symptoms, or, you know, stumble across things and be seeing number synchronicities, animal totems. It is part of your awakening, and you're always guided at the correct time. When we're getting flu-like symptoms and it's coming out of nowhere and it goes in less than 24 hours, we know most of the flus these days can last up to a month. It can be, again, we deem it as ascension symptoms. Now, that's in the spiritual community. And again, I'm not talking from a medical point of view. You are guided to always use your intuition with that and do the right thing. When you're having blockages in different areas, you know, it could be a headache coming on. By looking at chakras and understanding what's coming up you, it's going to help you move through that energy more. So the videos I'm going to do, if universe helps me get these done, because there is a lot of heavy energy at the moment, which almost like some of the messages it's making it difficult to come through. Obviously, I have been feeling a lot of sacral chakra, solar plexus energy coming up, and that could be overactive or underactive, or attempted to be suppressed and pushed back to an old way of being. If somehow with your connections you have people trying to take your power away, or you're feeling energetically where you're wanting to take your power back, a bit like a scorpion energy, you know, your sacral chakra is connected to your creativity, which can be an employment, but it's also you creating children, things to that degree. A lot of feminines, I do feel, have been trying to shift their energy onto things they can control. And this can be your garden, it can be art, it can be something, you know, other than what doesn't look so pretty right about now. That very much is the Neptunian energy. But it's your dreams and your dreams, your perspective. It is a planet that is quite, it's the genius, so to speak. It's through these dream state situations, and a lot of dreams are coming up at the moment too. Now, some of the most bizarre dreams coming through, and I know for me, psychically, the way I get my downloads for myself, they do come through my dream state, but they come in different shapes and forms. You know, some people dream in colour, some people don't. I always know the stark difference between a premonition, a sign, and a direct message. And at times, even your loved ones who have passed over will enter your dream state, and they're trying to directly communicate with you. Now, some of you might be dreaming about a person, a love interest, a twin flame. Others of you might be dreaming about things where, and other people can directly contact your dream state too. So suddenly you've been dreaming about someone and you're thinking, I have not even been thinking about this person. Even when you're thinking something at the moment, it's so unique in the way the energy is coming through. You might have a thought pattern on someone and bang your hair about them, or you might be thinking a perspective on the situation and then it evolves exactly the way you thought. It's because you're releasing and you're not directly relating to it, and it's solving itself. A little bit like super chat, really. It's like, you know, I had got to a point I accepted it for what it was, because I have never been in this for money, although I'm graciously lucky that, you know, the job I do and the bookings I get from you guys helps me in my foundation to continue doing what I love. But at the same time, when you are detaching, and Jen really did teach me that, again, it's self-worth, it's the lower chakras. It's, you know, when you're stuck in a financial predicament, emotionally speaking, it's your lower chakras, but again, it's an egoic state because we feel quite stuck. And we do, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of the 3 of what you can do versus the mind and what it's blocking. And they say that animals, especially dogs, they see the world in a different view to the way we do. And research that, because again, it's perspective and perception. So what we see not necessarily is what it is. Even though at a 3D level, yeah, 9 times out of 10 going, okay, that's a car, so that's a car. Look at it like you're in a snow globe, and it can change like that. Now, the solar plexus also have been coming up, which is joy, anger, self-belief, ego, empowerment, ambition. It's Mars energy. Where has Mars been? Moving into Scorpio. So again, we're battling for our power. And the Scorpio energy, yet again, is base chakra. Scorpio, Pluto, Saturn, Taurus. So the Muladhara chakra I saw, which again is connected to base chakra, is Saturn and Pluto are asking you to get prepared, which is your foundation. For the family-related dynamic that's about to change. For the heavy things that have not been working and get shifted and moved. You are guided and protected with the 3 police officials I saw. Signs and synchronicities linked into the way we see things. When we say that, they say it's connected to Archangel Michael, which protects love. So I would say in a relationship sense, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're worthy of, all of those things that have been on hold for you, they are actually coming towards you. we all collectively are struggling in those areas, and the aggressive energy is coming through. And I'll read that because I've been seeing crows too. Now, crows to me don't trigger me because obviously being psychic, I do see the other side. So they are, to a degree, one of my guides. How many did I see the other day? It was yesterday. 4. And again, it is about bringing an end to a cycle. So don't directly feel it's connected to you. Birds have been rampant at the moment, and definitely with bugs. And I did speak about humidity. Another thing I want to make mention of is, intuitively speaking, 9 times out of 10, about 2 to 4 weeks before an eclipse, we will see seismic activity. That can be connected to the ocean, Neptune, earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, weather patterns. Now, at the beginning of the year, I said you guys in America, etc., will be experiencing dynamics, you know, erratic weather, tides, earthquakes, volcanoes. And, you know, where the actual eclipse is coming, it's the lower hemisphere. So it still is going to affect both sides, the higher and the lower. But on this occasion, I'm actually feeling it's already starting well and truly before the eclipse. So therefore, with my psychic downloads and tuning into the energy of the heaviness, everything that's coming up for us right now and the protection we need, you know, psychically, spiritually, emotionally get grounded. Focus on what you can control. Even when it does come to, you know, we can have doomsday preppers, for instance, and no shade, I mean, because I've had that energy in a sense of being prepared, but at the same time, your preparation is inside you. It's everything you hold inside of you. You are the tools for your life. So when we look outside of ourselves, we feel that's the only solution. But when we understand we are the solution and when we need to react, we live in the moment. What happens in the future is what happens in the future. We will develop the tools to deal with that, as well as the tools we have right now, we will utilize to handle that and develop more. So try not to live in fear connected to it, but I am feeling as though there is this energy that we're going to see erratic weather patterns, and it is quite normal with the astrology that these things do happen. I do feel it'll be more towards Australia, Bali, more lower hemisphere, New Zealand. Again, it's not to say that other energies and scenarios won't happen higher up, but I do feel the weather patterns, earthquake, those things are going to amp up well and truly before the eclipse, in my opinion, on this occasion. And again, it's a shift and a change. I speak to the boss. Another thing I was saying, now I have a joke with my twin because I call him boss, but connectedly, how do I put it? When I see 6, the way my guides speak to me is mankind, okay? And it does mean other things. But on this occasion, something I'm seeing is for those of you that feel, and this can be within your own power, within your own energy, it's like bossing up, getting to a point where you're dealing with things. Now, if your masculine's overreactive in your own personal energy, it's about you take power where you need to and leave the other side where it's got nothing to do with you. So if you're tuning into a spiritual connection, i.e. soulmate, twin flame, and you're focused on what they need to do or have this feeling about it, but in your own life, your masculine frequency has been overactive, you need to tap into your empath aspect, your feminine energy to balance it out. So self-care, having a bubble bath, doing something for yourself, shifting the perspective even for 2.5 is going to help that. But there is an energy where masculine frequency, whereby you balance your feminine, they're going to balance their masculine out. Again, some of which is being resolved through Saturn-Pluto conjunction, I believe, but I do feel it's coming up before then. Now, there is good karma when it does come to December, when it comes to finances. Providing we're doing all we need to, things can balance out and shift, but it can be a perspective as well. I'm going to pull a few cards to tune into this energy, and we shall see what's coming through. Feel free to chit-chat in the crowd if the food's still working. And hopefully the rest of the day will flow now that I'm doing this update. And, you know, especially when it does come to the zodiac signs, don't feel I have no intention to return to all 12 zodiac signs. I have to be realistic at the moment, the way things have been going. I've updated Instagram, Twitter. I have started adding Patreon. I've been updating the website. So there's been a lot of things going on in the background, and I do want to give you guys the live updates regularly. So I'm starting to make a schedule when it comes to the way I'm doing everything in 2020 so that it can be more organised. I still will continue to do the moon update energies. I want to do the astrology. I want to get back to a state where I can really dive deep into each zodiac sign and do each zodiac sign and do it more regularly, where it can be monthly, mid-monthly, and obviously live sessions for the twin flames. So that videos are going to increase, and it has been to do with my foundation, you know, supporting daycare, getting paperwork in order so I can actually do that. So I'm really doing the very best I can. But don't think I'm tapping out or leaving and that this is going to be a permanency. It's actually not. But if I can keep it, you know, more balanced at the moment till then, it's going to give me more opportunity to give you quality. And I prefer to be coming to you guys live so we can connect in. Another thing I will be adding on a regular basis, and I'll see how it goes, it'll either be weekly, every 2 weeks, or once a month, where I do a few hour session where if you guys can't afford to book a reading, I can actually do super chat where I can answer your questions for, you know, a small donation. That way, if you guys are really triggered in that week, I can touch base with you. And it's a quick, simple way to get it sorted. But obviously, especially if you've got core wounds or blockages in your twin flame path, or you're looking at aspects of astrology and what potentially is coming up with you, even if you're wanting me to connect in with your loved ones who have passed over, I do know there has been a few clients recently where I find their relatives very amusing because they jump in. It's like, I'm in the reading, and out of nowhere, it's like, oh, sorry, okay, your grandmother's popped in, and this is how she looks, and this is what she wants me to tell you. And they're really quirky, beautiful energies, and your guides really around you are quite protecting you. So it's been very interesting. You know, in the early stages of developing my gift, most of it was connected to your loved ones passed over. And I worked in nursing homes and hospitals, and most of the nursing staff and even the patients' family members would follow me out to the car park, ask me for my number. Some of them drop cups off at my door. You know, nurses would drop hot chocolate cups off my door because holding the energy, I can tune into it. But over the years, I've developed it. So depending on what you're needing to work on, you know, when we do recorded videos for those of you who purchase them, I don't have an issue with that. And if I need to confirm on anything, 9 times out of 10, I will inbox and message you. But to get a real great session, you know, don't feel that you have to have your camera on with me. If you're shy and you don't want me to know who you are, that's fine. But, you know, I have many clients that I've had for 3 years now, and it is like a family. So, you know, I keep all of your information highly confidential. And you can talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen it all in my own life, so I'm not going to judge you by any means. But these blockages that occur, I can actually key point it both inside of viewing it psychically, including some of the subject matters that come up for you. And I'll go through a chain of questions when I do actually do the first, you know, connection with you to key point what's blocking you. I can do, but I've got Skype. If you are on there and you do negotiate that with me, yes, I can organise that. You know, I'm pretty flexible with that. Now, any of you who have been trying to book a reading, if you have a problem jumping on my website, 9 times out of 10 inbox me, it's because I'm editing the website, so it lags the website. So I had actually been logged into the website. So if you had been having issues, we are in Mercury retrograde. I have logged out now, so it will be easier. But just forward date and the time, and if you have a specific time in mind, again, inbox me and I'll do my best. Okay, let's have a look at this energy coming through for spiritual connections, twin flames, and I'm also going to pull an energy for karmic energy either side. And then I better get back into the videos. Okay. Feel free to chat in the house. Okay. Feminines, you guys are looking to the future and you're wanting clarity into what's going to happen. It's like you're not wanting to look back. You're wanting to look forward. And so some of the things that are actually coming up for you guys potentially could be tricking you because of the 3D of the way you're seeing things. You've got illumination, but it's looking directly this way. So it's to the future and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, look like that. And again, the sun energy's there above the head. I feel this is, you know, you're trying to remove yourself from negative energies. You're trying to remove yourself from dark frequencies, but it's bringing up darker frequencies in some of you. It can be trigger points, it can be frustration and anger, trying to keep as grounded as possible. Connected, both of you guys, you know, in the way relating to people, places and things, it's something is trying to come together. It hasn't completely come together yet. It's in reverse. And that's wholeness. So I'm feeling more at a separate level. This is a transformation. And again, I'm saying number 5. A transformation is occurring, but because you can't see it, you're feeling it's not occurring. It is. It's this anxious energy in the solar plexus sacral chakra of wanting to take your power back and wanting to move forward like you're rejecting the old frequency. Now, the masculine energy, again, has the red coming through, which, again, is to do with foundation, and it's in reverse. Now, it is to do with prosperity, but it's, again, I'm not feeling this is just finances, although it could be a subject matter that they're really looking at. But it's, you know, when we're looking at base chakra, again, by January, we're having Saturn-Pluto conjunct. We're having the eclipses. It's moving into the house of Cancer. So we're going to have a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, again, on the 2 subject matters, smack bang in January, between December and January. So it's hitting us hard and sharp, and anything that isn't meant to be there, it's going to tumble down. There is a foundation at hand at the moment that they're assessing. And with that foundation, it could be causing lower back pains. It might be causing, you know, I mean, it's directly connected to family, home, and looking at it and asking themselves the questions, is this spiritually fulfilling? Is this built on stable ground? What can I do to change it? And it's not talking about it, okay? It can also be connected to a person or people they're not talking to, and not wanting to wait any longer, getting really frustrated. Feel like this situation has been on hold. Trying to avoid, okay, they're actually in their higher mind. They're looking at the situation. They've got misfortune in reverse. And I feel this is more linked in with wanting to avoid misfortune. So they're being quite tactical in the way that they're handling it. Thanks. Lady, I always get these people asking me in the shops, like, oh, we love your hoodie. And it's actually got eyes on it. Like, my twin has exactly the same, which is ironic. I didn't see him for years, and I turned up and we had the same thing. So it's got lights. I bought it so that when I walk in the dark, you know, it actually glows. The heart glows. So, you know, I wouldn't get hit by a car. And I would dress like a masculine and hide my hair so no one would see me. But the funniest thing was, one day there was a Rottweiler that was walking, and it was around Halloween actually. And I'm not scared of dogs, and it thought I was a bone, and it was walking behind me, and I was like, oh, probably not the wisest move, you know. But for high vis, it works for that. Okay, they're trying to avoid some sense of disaster. They feel very vulnerable. They've got God of protection in reverse. And again, I feel this is them critiquing themselves, like their perspective perception. Then they've got God of vulnerability in reverse. They're wanting to not, I don't feel this is that they don't want to be vulnerable. I feel it's that they're bossing up. They're like, no, I don't want to be in this vibration anymore. Yeah, they're tired of that old vibration. So They're choosing who they interact with, but they're bossing up. They're looking at things very differently. What is this? God of protection in reverse. Yeah, they're trying to bring things together. They're like tired of an old way of being, and they know that something has to shift. Something has to shift in this scenario to proceed forward. Now, they do know where the love is. They know who their love is. And again, being an 11, it is spiritual connection. This come up in my private reads. They've got, okay, then they've got inner child. So again, with the base chakra coming up, my opinion is this is to do with a family-related dynamic, a tribe, a group of people, a foundation, a work-related dynamic, inner power, sacral chakra, solar plexus, wanting to co-create, looking at their shadow side and realizing that, and again, it's 3. They're having faith, they're balancing out their masculine and feminine energy, their intuition, and their feelings and emotions, and knowing where that resides, both inside themselves and within people, places, and things. And also with their masculine aspect, physically owning their power and changing something. Very interesting. Okay, a subject matter in a conversation. For those of you who are in separation, I tried to clarify the card that directly relates with you guys, and it fell on your side, and it fell on the card in reverse of separation. So I'll show you that after, and I'm going to swap it over here, but it is to do with the lack of communication. Maybe not speaking about something, maybe not talking about all the things, maybe about the lost hopes they had and how they feel maybe you're losing hope. But at the same time, this inner child is helping them look at this, and they're quietly observing their feelings, their vibrations, scenarios around them to make a decision about what they're going to do. They may end up getting ascension symptoms, and I mentioned this to Giggle. It can get them to a point where they're quite run down, because when you are accessing your crown chakra, and with these lower chakras directly being impacted, the ascension symptoms is a physical purge. So with that purge, it helps you get into alignment of what's going to work for you. So this is, and if you're having any of those symptoms, feminines on your side, you can balance that. When you're having an upgrade, don't fight it. Go through the frequency. You will get tired after. If you're panicking, oh, I'm not going to get my work done, I'm not going to get this done, everything happens for a reason. Release control, go through it, come up the other side, rest. Everything will fall into place. It is a perspective. Even if you're like, I've got bills to pay, I've got cleaning to do, let it go. Breathe, get better. You're going to feel more energetic, and it will be an upgrade on the masculine side as well. Now, at the heart of this, God of love in reverse. Okay, and I'm going to clarify this. And this, again, is about 11. They don't feel, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let the cards speak. Interesting. They feel you've done a lot of work on yourself. They also don't want you to work so hard. But they also don't understand why you love them regardless of what they do. And I think this is more an emotional, solar plexus, sacral chakra, and the base chakra. It's to do with foundation. But they also, they know that you're directly thinking of them, that you don't think about anybody else. So they're in awareness of this. They also know you work quite hard. Let's find out what the outcome potentially can be. Where it stands. Interesting. Okay, they feel, they know you can't go on like this forever. They know. Goddess of endurance in reverse. So they're aware of it. So these changes that are happening, or the plans that they're going to choose to make, whatever that be, to rectify what they feel needs rectifying, is because they physically know something's, but it's not just for you, it's for them. Okay, this change is for their freedom, for their health, for their transformation, for something that works with them. Okay, what they're not seeing is with a particular energy, and I'm going to pull a clarifier on this because I think this is to do with an external situation. There is miscommunication now. If the masculine is going into hermit mode, it is to think about you. If the feminine is not hearing or there's any communication coming in, masculines, you're on their mind. Okay, not one of you at the moment is feeling super like, yeah, this is great. So, but there's also scenarios playing out on both sides of the fence that is causing conflict and bringing up old energies. They're also going through a dynamic where there is miscommunication. I also feel, for those of you where there is a person where there could be like an ex or a karmic, family member, a boss, whoever this is that is causing conflict, I also feel an energy coming through this female's eyes on the card that the male energy, it might not be speaking to you about it, but is directly communicating and looking at other people where they had opinions of you, and this is causing conflict and they're not happy about it because they've got cheerfulness in reverse. I'm like, no, no, no. Hi, feminines, your side. Okay, you're wondering when this bloody karma is going to end. You're like, no more karma. I don't want no karma. No more karma. You're rejecting the karma. You're like, no, I can't believe that this is like, you're putting an end to a cycle. You want this cycle to end. Whatever this is, you may energetically feel something is changing in life. And it doesn't have to be something indirectly. Something's coming to an end, okay? But it's a negative, lower frequency energy. And again, this is 5 as well for change. Goddess of destruction. You're not hurting yourself anymore. You're like, I'm not going to. And because, look, the hard part is spiritually, when you've been doing work on yourself, you can get to a point where you can say, they did this to me. But, you know, once you've learned to check certain things and go, okay, lower chakras, I could have said no. Certain things, 100%, you can't control what another person does, but when you're in your awareness of that, that's your energy you can control. If you don't like a frequency and you're like, they're making me feel this or that, when you're stuck with that energetically, you're going through a purgatory state. Once you do come to a resolve, it always reaches a seismic end, because if there's something you're unable to do, it won't go on forever. And nothing you do to hold things up is going to keep you there, because you will spiritually ascend, and that's any human being. So for those of you that are further back in a spiritual path of, you know, breaking codependent patterns and realizing that we can't control what another does, we can check with ourselves and say, hey, what do I want to do today? And somebody else is asking you to do something else, or if you don't want to do that, you don't do it, do you? But if you do, it's because you feel there's going to be a consequence for an action. Right now, I do feel for many feminines, you're like, I'm not going to hurt myself. I've done the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I won't self-sabotage. Okay, so goddess of destruction. Like, I won't be that. I'm not that. I'm not a karmic energy. It could be you're aware of this, and the rest of the destruction hasn't come down. This could be through a different energy, a energy. But you may sense it, but you want no part in it. Yeah, you haven't heard from someone, okay? And I don't feel this is a male energy. I feel this is an external energy. This could be gossip, it could be news, it could be a resolution to a situation. You haven't heard anything, you think it's gone a bit quiet. And with that quietness, you're like, calm before the storm, I'm hearing. Some of you are attracting very wise people into your life. Some of you also have ascended to the point where you've balanced a very wise frequency, and you also know that what this is going to require is for this person to be very wise with their choices, okay? Some of you are frustrated that they weren't wise with their choices, but I feel it's more to do with the fact that by 2020, you know, you want yourself and anyone who's entering into your energy field to make wise choices, to make wise choices, because you're not wanting any residue karma to be carrying over in 2020. Now, you also don't want this energy of sadness. You want the wisdom, and you want the happy ending. But you're wondering if there's some codependency. I don't feel this could be coming up in you feminines, but I don't feel this is so. I feel this is your awareness of something. I also feel this is spiritual. Yeah, it's transforming. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you're aware of what patterns were, and you've transformed through them, and that's why this is all happening. At the heart of it, also, a lot of you who are in hermit mode or haven't been with a spiritual connection for a while or have been removed from scenarios, you've dealt with your core power. All this time out away from people has prepared you to be with people. It's given you some reflective time, but you're not going to be abandoned from it. And this codependent energy, I feel the groups are breaking. So whatever it is, you're wanting clarity on 2020, moving forward. You're wanting clarity on the connection to move forward. While you're tuning into the impossibility of it, you're co-creating it. So like I say to all of you, if you're tuning into something and it's heavy and it's really getting you down and it's a bit like, how is this ever going to change? Once you stop doing that, you've got to breathe your energy back into your body. Once you do that, you need to get a smudge stick and you need to clear your crown chakra off. And even before you do that, get a pen or something. Breathe your energy back in and focus on that. Don't think of the thing you were thinking. Just look at something to bring your energy back. Once you've done that, smudge stick yourself over and then shift your energy onto something. Don't even think about it anymore, because you will own that vibration. You will become that vibration. You will manifest that belief system. A purge is a purge, but if you're doing that and thinking about it too long, you're actually manifesting that as a life lesson. So you want to detach from that, I said. Now, at the heart of it, this abandonment, it's something transforming. You see the falseness in it. You see a scenario playing out. What you're not seeing. Interesting. Now, another 5. Saying 5s everywhere. There is an obstruction in masculine's path, and they're having to address it. And yes, with the yellow coming through, they are going to remove it. And again, you can't make this shit. Okay, look at this. Now, there's an elephant on his chest, which to me, I'm seeing tribe, okay? This came through the elephants. And I was researching into tribe mentality because elephants are fiercely protected, but they can reject too. And that is a bit like, you know, feminines on the planet, you know. And when we look at family, masculine energy is family coming up for their crowning energy. Family-related dynamics, you know, this can be your children, it can be your parents, it can be, it's not all our tribe is family, okay? Some of our tribe and people we know, like people like you guys on YouTube, you're family. You're not related to me. We're spiritually connected in a family mindset way. You know, many people spiritually have learned that we don't have to be DNA related to be family. And sometimes, like they say, we can't have families, right? It's not to say they're bad people, and yes, some of them are, and I'm not saying that. I mean in general towards the collective. But this purge that this person's having is because they're having these epiphanies, but they've been trying to fix something and they've been carrying it on their chest. And this is the higher heart chakra, but it's also to do with the power they had in a situation. The solar plexus, you know, the anger they feel about things, the belief in themselves. It's Mars energy. Now, this is a number 5. This is a masculine energy. So what you're not seeing, yes, so did my mum, weird. The clarification for it is home. Now, what's the crowning energy for the masculine? Base chakra, home, Saturn, Pluto conjunction. Saturn and Pluto are already in our transit, so regardless, it's relevant for the here and now. The Mars energy is the power connected to a home-related environment, connected to masculine, connected to their power. Okay, this is what we're not seeing. There you go. Yes, and my grandmother, who is a guide of mine, loved elephants. My twin's mother, who passed, God rest her soul, loves elephants. I actually asked a question last night. and she drank Pepsi. And as I said it, there was a question with this Pepsi commercial, and they drank it. And I looked at him and I went, did you just say that? That's spooky. It was like she was communicating to us. Okay, the foundation of your area, feminines. Look what you're wearing. Red. Base chakra. Magic. Power. Protect yourself. Mary Magdalene. Okay, do some healing. Meditate on the base chakra. That's spooky. My mum had a horse with one inside. And do you know, the funny thing was she couldn't fall pregnant. And somebody said to her, if you break it, you'll fall pregnant. She didn't. She fell pregnant. Spooky. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that. And then I'll read the energy of Jane and answer a few questions in the case there are. What time is it? Oh, we're on time. Also, that you may be intuitively tuning into a foundation and getting a bit triggered by it. It might be another energy. You might feel their frequency. Yeah, look, my phone is like crazy town at the moment. It's Mercury retrograde damping up earlier, I'm telling you. Both you and trust her to call me now. So, family. It's my daughter. I'll have to call her in a minute. Okay, so before she calls again, I'm going to put on silent and message her. The energy in between is selfhood in reverse, and it's interesting because the number 8, I don't feel a lot of you guys have a lot of time to do the things that you'd like to do, and it can be affecting you. I'm going to message her. Sorry. Yes, we've got selfhood in reverse. It feels as though you guys might not have a lot of time either side of the fence. The blessing is actually getting back to that. If you physically can, look at where you feel semi-out of alignment and you need to be doing some things for yourself and integrate that back. Some of you might be together but not together, like not seeing each other because you're busy again with subject matters coming up. Meditation time at the moment is really important. I'm actually operating from our foundation, okay? So get grounded before you directly relate. And the analogy I always use on this channel is the traffic lights, okay? Red, you're triggered. Okay, look at the foundation of the area, base chakra. Get grounded before you get rebellious like Mars. Yellow, meditate, think, then use your power on the situation. Green, come from a place of heart and deal with it. Okay, I feel like some of you need to actually have some meditation time. Just do something for you. But there can be this, especially with the Scorpion moon, it can be quite detached energy, where rejecting things and cutting things out of our life. Be really careful, you know, in doing that prematurely, because there's a blessing for this transit of what you're going to learn. There's a scenario playing out that is actually going to help both of you. And this is to do with what you don't love. Past tense situations coming up, old relationships, old connections, and seeing the gift and the blessing in situations and moving forward. But there is a solution coming, okay? What isn't meant to be with you is going. Trust that, because there's Priest in reverse. So the energy of what will not, how do I put it? Spiritual connection is very different, but in a belief system, in a vibrational feeling, it's removing out of your life so you won't attract it again. The energy you won't attract is what you don't like, but it's because you've moved through a lesson to achieve that factor. Now, at the heart of this, masculine is taking the bull by the horns. Action. Again, I'm saying Mars energy, Mars and Neptune energy. Going to be doing the work to move forward, to do what they can, Again, finances, money, stability, what they feel is worth it, investing in the right people, places, and things. Now, like I said to you guys, on their side, we had Goddess of Love, 11. People know who their connections are. People are going to know who their connections are. Now, this male energy knows who this person is and who they love, and they feel something for them. Now, the below energy was they also know that this female energy can't go on like this forever because she's getting quite fatigued. Now, when I pulled clarify, there was messages in reverse. Those of you in not communication actually bounced on the middle energy, the joining energy. Separation and reverse. Okay, so you're going to see this person. This person's coming through. Now, this can be Mercury retrograde. It can be due to this dynamic playing out. Something's coming through and you're going to see it. I don't necessarily feel it will be directly from the horse's mouth for some of you. It can be through the grapevine. It can be on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, through your guides. This person's releasing themselves from a toxic situation. Okay? Any questions while I'm cleaning up and deciding how I'm going to do these zodiac signs for November? I'm going to have a quick break before I come back. And I don't really feel guided to do earth, air, fire, water, but each zodiac sign and each element in it, and pull cards directly for it, and I can talk about each zodiac sign. I'm thinking so because we literally have, like, what, 2 days before November. And the 31st is supposed to be really interesting. And then I can then start on mid-months, which will be longer. Why is he not communicating right now? With the energy that's coming through here, energetically, there's family-related dynamics and the planet of war activating our Venus. So I would say there is energy going on that, especially with all the 9s coming through for masculine, it's a temporary non-communication. I shall pull a card for you. Let me pick a deck. Okay, you've got the devil in reverse. Now, they're overcoming an area in their life that has directly been affecting them. This can be an addiction. It can be vibration. I'm also seeing a family-related dynamic. Now, I feel it's either a mother and father energy. Does this directly relate, love? Do you know who these people are? That's for Haley. Yeah, that's really bugging him. It's really affecting his energy. It feels like they're quite needy. Yeah, it's quite needy on the energy. Oh, there you go, mother. She might be a bit unwell, but it's just really affecting, you know, the energy. Did you have a question, Justine? That energy should change, especially the base chakra coming up anyway. Yeah. Look, the karmic energy is us because we believe it. So somehow it plays out in our life, so we release it. And that's the power with sacral chakra and solar plexus. So that's why I'm saying if you're tuning into something, like, tune out. Because we're manifesting that. We need to let it go so that we don't attract it. Oh, thank you, Justine. I appreciate you too, love. Carmen, you want to know, sweet? You need to trust the process. Uh-huh. I feel you're worried about this transition. I don't feel you're being much too long, but it's, you know, whenever we go through that stage, and I've been through that myself, it's going to heal your relationship separately between your family, your tribe, your foundation, which is, again, A lot of things that have been coming up with feminines and masculines, when we end up going back to our place of birth or where our kin is, it's spiritually taking us back. Foundation-related dynamics stem back to childhood, right? Our base chakra, our family, our foundation. Your lower back might be playing up, you know, our kidneys can, and the lower thing. It can be our fertility and things like that, our creativity. But it's home-related dynamics. So these things are coming up to clear. Yeah, there's going to be something of a healing nature that comes up, but it's also going to help you own your power and decide where you want to go from here. It's not permanent, though. And don't anchor it in your mind as permanent. Anchor it in as you're going to go for the lesson. You're going to go for the healing. Mercury retrograde is a hard time to transition for, but as I've mentioned, it's a time to all of us to try and move forward. Yeah, but like I said, when we've done work alone, suddenly we have other energies where the trigger points can only come up with other energies so that we can actually rectify that purge correctly. I'm trying to finish the last... Oh, the Schumann resonance is at 80. That's why. And that's what I went through yesterday. It was the whole day. And I'm like, how is this happening? You know, when is it? And I literally had to tell myself, you're going to have to walk through this. You're going to have to keep going. Schumann resonance. It's a frequency that it's going to enlighten you, open your mind. Yeah, there you go. It's been spiking. You know, usually the frequency is at 14, Earth Hertz frequency, right? It's been raising probably over the last year more so. We've had spikes of 90. And look, when it's spiking and it's at that point for a long time, it can cause mental distortion. It can cause aggression and anger, even episodes. But at the same time, it opens your crown chakra, so your perspective, your perception, but you're needing to get grounded while that happens and not fight against it. So you just do the best you can, be gentle with yourself. If you're feeling emotional, let it come up, but try and nurture yourself during that time. What did I miss? Yeah. Try not to clear every chakra at once, though, because you'll get massive awakenings and massive purges. Did I miss a question? Have I missed a question, Google? Yeah, there is a lot of that energy coming up. And again, that is connected in with the sacral chakra. So when they're overactive, it can be, there is a lot of passion coming up, especially with spiritual connections. So look, when that energy comes up, yes, it is connected to intimacy and intimate acts. I'm being politically correct. But at the same time, it is also to do, the spike of it is this longing. It almost is. It's not, when I say the devil energy, it's not. It's your passion, it's your drive, it's the things you govern towards. But at the same time, it's the power that you need to utilize to go out and get what you want, you know. And if you're directly connected in with a spiritual connection, it can be you're telepathically feeling that vibration. And you're like, whoa, okay, this is coming out of nowhere. Yes, it has increased. And especially when you're stressed, right? You're unable to transmit that frequency anywhere. So you need to shift it into your creativity so it doesn't become overactive. Feeling the energy body accent. Yeah, again, the Schumann resonance and ascension symptoms you upgrade. You're going to have a lot of downloads psychically. Yeah, I did say that to my twin. I was like, yeah. What's going on with job career for me today? Everything's probably stalled at the moment. Okay, how do I put it? I'm going to pull a card for you, Outlaw Soul. Why am I seeing a different location for you? Look, the energy of where you were wasn't working for you, okay? It was too rigid in its thinking. I feel you're branching out, but I feel a movement to a different location. Now, this could be a physical area that you live, or it can even be, it's like, I just feel like you want to branch your wings out. It is in a totally different location to where you are. It might be a totally different career than what you're in. But I'm also seeing an energy of, do you have anyone that you know that has a property? This can be out bush, it can be in the country. Has it been something that's been entering your mind? That's the outlaw soul. And I will have to go in a moment. We picked that up this morning, Giggle. It's like, yeah, it's ready. I even warned my twin. I went, get ready. It's coming. I can feel it. It's coming. And he is what? And I went, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. It's coming. Yeah. White light, white light. Okay, I will need to end this session. I'll be back shortly. I need to have a quick break. And then I will come back and I will do... What time is it? I've got time. Air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And I'll go through each one psychically of what I'm saying. Giggle's an artist. She's a beautiful artist. She's been tuning into her creative energies, as most feminines at the moment. You're having to. If you aren't and you're feeling that, you know, sacral chakra, solar plex energy increase and it's spiking, get to the point where you're transmuting it somewhere else. So it can be exercise, it can be, you know, boxing, painting, art, cooking. I mean, she went from art to throwing me a message in Messenger the other day of a blueberry bloody pie. It's like, thanks, Giggle. I went from to, you know, tuning in and reading her cards. So I hope, and Lysiana, I've got to send her my address too. She's sending me some cards. And I said to Giggle, I'll be very happy on YouTube to, you know, use her cards. They're beautiful. And then she sent me a picture of a cake. And I'm like, I can't eat that. You can't post it to me. That's not fair. Okay, if you aren't eating a booking, the link is below. If you have joined the tribe, welcome. We cover astrology, energy updates, the moon energies, zodiac signs. Although I'm going to do earth, air, fire, water, I am getting back to doing each zodiac sign. And again, I did want to do more updates this month, but it's been impossible. Universe just, you know, has been doing its thing. Yeah, just white light yourself. Use the gin removal. Giggle put it up further up in the session. I'll try and put it directly under this video up once it's uploaded. But you can research gin meditation, gin removal, and it just takes that dark energy away from you to protect you. But I do feel country for you, outlaw soul, and I don't know whether it's somewhere you have a connection to somebody there. Yeah, it just feels a connection to going to a property or something to that degree. It could be temporary. Love and light, I must go. Hello.